Dustin Poirier is getting his 4th crack at an official UFC title. He has failed 3 times before and made it clear this is probably his final run for a title. Will Dustin Poirier become an undisputed UFC champion? We're about to find out. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks, and I'm going to give you my bets for UFC 302. But before we do that, BetOpenly is doing a $500 giveaway for We Want Picks subscribers. The only thing you need to do is use the link in the description of this video. The password to enter the contest is WWP, and then you're just clicking significant strike lines, the over and under on significant strike lines. If you do a better job than everybody else that has entered the contest, you win $500. It's so easy, so free, and so simple. Just use the link to enter the contest, over, under on a couple of significant strike lines. And again, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be better than everybody else. The $500 will be given away. It's just a matter of to who. On the right-hand side, you can see my picks. I did the over on Bassil Hafez, the over on Mickey Gall, the under on Ailin Perez, the over on Mitch Raposo, the under on Grant Dawson, the under on Mikhail Olechchuk, and then the over on Dustin Poirier. You got to pick 7. And again, as long as you're better than everybody else, you will take home $500. 100% free to enter. Costs you literally nothing. And use the link below. The password to enter this contest is WWP. Now that I told you how you can get $500 for free, let me tell you what $10 will get you. If you go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member, and pay $10, you unlock every single pick, bet, tool, round line, lean, and everything else that we do. If we take a look at pay-per-views specifically in 2024, we tend to crush pay-per-views. The safety parlay is 5-2 in pay-per-views this year. We are up almost 8 units on pay-per-views only this year. 12% return on investment for our bets on pay-per-views this year. But premium membership is more than just some bets. You're also going to get tools. One of those tools is the line movement tracker. This is going to give you the opening odds, the current odds, and the win probability and the line movement for every single fighter on every single card. You're also going to get the detailed data, metrics, and analytics. This is 38 columns of information that you can use to find your spots. I just told you about that free $500 giveaway for BetOpenly. All you need to do is say over or under on some significant strike lines. Well, guess what this data has built into it? The number of significant strikes that fighters are landing per minute in their fights. It doesn't take a genius to look at that math, look at the lines, and then do higher or lower from there. All of this, a million other things I didn't mention. It's only $10 a month, and today is June 1st, which means you're going to get UFC 303 in that 1 month. You're going to get UFC 302, all the events leading up, and then UFC 303 as well. The timing works out for you perfectly. Kind of sucks for me, because if the pay-per-views are more than a month apart, we get the double dip. They are closer together. You're going to get 2 pay-per-views in 1 month. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It is only $10 for an entire month. Let's go ahead and talk about UFC 302 specifically. First, we're going to talk about some of my more confident favorites, some solid underdogs, and then I will show you the actual bets. When we're talking about favorites and dogs, I think this is a somewhat straightforward card. Obviously, these are fistfights, and there are always landmines that people weren't expecting. I think I'm doing a good job avoiding some of those landmines here. If we're looking at confident favorites, I do think Grant Dawson wins this fight. I also think it is much closer than these odds. I think minus 575 is a bit ridiculous, but he is a favorite, and I am confident that he wins. It's going to be grappler versus grappler. I trust Grant to wrestle earlier. I trust him to wrestle more. And his jiu-jitsu is beyond good enough to not get submitted by Joselyne. I think Joselyne is very good. We saw how chinny Grant Dawson is, so obviously he can get clipped. This is a fist fight, but I do think Grant Dawson gets it done. I do not like those odds, though. If you go to BetOpenly, you will get much better odds at minus 365. Minus 365 certainly looks a lot better than minus 575. And then Jailton Almeida. This is a bit of a controversial pick. People completely disagree with me. There's a whole world of people out there saying that Jailton's a fraud. Jailton sucks. This guy can only wrestle. He can't do... Whether you believe that or not, he only needs to wrestle. He doesn't need to do anything else. As we all know, Alexander Romanov is also a wrestler, but wrestlers can't handle being on their backs. Jailton Almeida has proven to us that he can take down anybody. He just took down Curtis Blaydes 9 times. Curtis Blaydes is supposed to be the best wrestler in the heavyweight division. Jailton Almeida took him down 9 times with ease. He had one lapse of judgment for 20 seconds, which cost him the fight. Outside of that, Jailton Almeida has not looked like a human being. He has been running through people. I think he takes down Alexander Romanov. I think Alexander is clueless off his back. Shocking. Doesn't know what to do. Hasn't been on his back in a fist fight because he's usually the hammer. And I think Jailton Almeida blows right through him, and minus 350 seems good to me. Alex Morono, minus 250. This is a rematch. Alex was knocked out the first time that they fought. But since then, a lot of things have happened. Alex has steadily improved. Nico Price has, I don't think, improved skill-wise, and he certainly has been in a couple too many wars since then. Notably, he was just knocked out unconscious last year against Robbie Lawler. I think Alex Morono wins this fight. Will he finish Nico Price? I'm not sure. Nico is a bit chinny, but he is kind of a dog. He's got some dog in him. He's not going to quit, so as long as his chin holds up, he will be there. Alex Morono is a weird guy to trust because he does have some mental lapses, but the reality is he is better than Nico Price literally everywhere. Maybe raw power he's not, but everywhere else he is better than Nico Price. He's not as used up. And I'm not saying that offensively. Like, Nico has been in some wild wars, and eventually your chin isn't there anymore. Things aren't holding up the way they should. Alex Morono should absolutely win this fight. And then Islam Makhachev. His line has yo-yoed everywhere from minus 400, minus 450, all the way up to minus 750. All of those numbers are acceptable. I think he absolutely destroys Dustin Poirier. Obviously, Dustin is an insanely durable guy as long as his chin is going to hold up. He is not a quitter. He fights like a man. He just got smoked by Benoit Saint Denis in the first round, came out in the second round, blasted him, put him out, won that fight. Islam does need to be careful because Dustin is very good, very experienced, great hands. I think Islam just takes him down whatever he wants to and gets it done. The fact that he has Khabib Nurmagomedov in his corner, which he hasn't had in a while, tells me that they are taking this very seriously, and Khabib is not a high-risk guy. Khabib is all wrestle, do what you know. Where Islam might go out there and try to have some fun with Khabib in his corner, Khabib in his camp, Khabib there, I think it eliminates the crazy of Islam, eliminates the I'm here to have some fun of Islam, and Islam's just going to wrestle his ass off and get that done. If we're looking at solid underdogs, I think there's a lot of good underdogs on this card. Whether you want to spend the money and take the chance, that's a whole different story. I think Mitch Raposo is a very good underdog. He is Jacob's underdog lock of the week. I did not pick Mitch to win. I only didn't pick him to win because of the short notice. He is from Massachusetts. This fight is New Jersey. It's about 5-hour drive. Yeah, about 5-hour drive. That's close enough for all his friends, all his family, and everybody else to come, which is a whole ton of pressure. And that pressure, hey, can I get tickets? Hey, when do you fight? Hey, oh, I know a UFC fighter. Ooh, a huge pay-per-view. This guy went from an Ultimate Fighter house to the Contender Series, which is a small contained environment, to a massive arena on a humongous pay-per-view. That's a lot of pressure. It's out of nowhere. It is just short notice step up. I'm worried about that. But if you just look at the skills alone, just skill for skill, I think Mitch can win this fight. So it just comes down to, do you think the pressure matters or don't you? But plus 220, a guy like Mitch who has been training since he was like 13 years old, he's got plenty of experience. He's finishing all the people he's supposed to finish, and his only 2 losses are pretty explainable. He lost to Jake Hadley, who's good, and then he lost in the Ultimate Fighter house to just a nonstop big boy wrestler, up in weight. I think Mitch can win this fight. The short notice worries me, but if you're not worried about it, I think he's a great dog at this money. Philip Rowe, plus 136. I think Philip Rowe is the better fighter in this matchup. I think he's better than Jake Matthews. He's certainly going to be the better striker. His takedown defense should be okay. My only concern with Philip Rowe is he doesn't have the best decision-making skills. He will choose to grapple when he's clearly winning the striking. We saw that in his last fight against Neil Magny. I do think Philip Rowe wins this fight. I think he is the better fighter. I think he's the more dangerous fighter, and I think he gets the job done. I think losing to Neil Magny, I mean, Philip Rowe's on a good team. He's not just fighting out of some strip mall where he's the best guy in the gym. He's on a good team. He's training with some good people. I think that loss in his last fight, which was not because of his skills, it was because of mental lapses, I think that it'll be a wake-up call. I think he will do all the right things, and I think he will make some solid decisions in this fight and get it done. Roman Kopylov, plus 100. This fight is high-level kickboxer versus high-level kickboxer. Except one of them, Roman Kopylov, has 5 times the amount of MMA experience, including a couple of takedowns in the UFC, one of which was over a Division III All-American wrestler. This is an MMA fight, not a kickboxing match. People want to talk about, oh, Cesar Almeida beat Alex Pereira. Well, he also lost to Alex twice. And that win was like 13 years ago or 16 years. It was not recent. It was an insanely long time ago. I think Roman Kopylov wins this fight. I think he understands the cage more. I think he understands MMA more. I think he's the one that could absolutely win this fight. I also think he's the more dangerous of the two. So I think Roman Kopylov wins this fight. He started as a favorite, and now he has flipped to a full-blown doggy dog. And then Elizeu Zaleski at plus 150. He's old. He's a tiny bit chinny, right? We watched him get dropped in his last fight, but he is nuts tough, and he never quits. His last fight is the reason he's on this list. It was a draw because he got the crap beat out of him for 2 rounds, and then the 3rd round manages to stay in that fight, rise from the dead, not quit on himself, and almost finish his opponent to force a 10-8 and then make that fight a draw. I think Elizeu Zaleski is the exact type of guy that can make a fight with Randy Brown uglier than it needs to be, tougher than it needs to be, get Randy questioning his power, questioning his footwork, and Elizeu Zaleski could pull this win out. These are the confident favorites I have. These are some solid underdogs to look at, but let's take a look at the actual bets that I have placed. These are not all of my bets. These are some of my bets. The rest of my bets are available for premium members only, including the safety parlay, which you see the odds here. You see the unit amount. It's always 1, but you don't see the actual bet. If you want to unlock the rest of my bets and Jacob's bets and the tools and everything, it's freaking $10 a month. And you're going to get 5 events for that $10. I'm pausing for the math. That's less than $2 an event. This isn't some weird $150 a month. Bullshit. It's $10. You're going to get the picks, the bets, the round line leans, a whole slew of tools, and a whole bunch of fantasy content as well. $10 a month. What are we doing here? Here's a couple of the bets. Kevin Holland is parlayed with the Perez-Edwards fight going over 2.5 rounds. I think Kevin Holland wins this fight. If Kevin Holland cannot beat Mikhail Olechuk at this point in his career, then Kevin Holland needs to be released. He needs to be cut. If he can't beat McCall, he needs to be cut. I think he beats him. I don't think there's an issue there. And then the Perez-Edwards fight, they don't finish anybody. Those are the 2 least dangerous women. They make Angela Hill look like Vanderlei Silva. This fight absolutely should go to a decision. I put them together, minus 130 on that. Then we have Paulo Costa wins inside the distance, decision, no action. Listen, Sean Strickland is likely not finishing Paulo Costa. Sean Strickland's not really a finisher. He's going to move forward, 1-2, 1-2, move forward, 1-2, 1-2, Philly shell, 1-2, 1-2, Philly shell, and do all of that. So I likely get a refund on this bet. But if Paulo Costa pulls off the upset, does a spinning back heel kick to the head like he did to Robert Whittaker, but follows it up and finishes it, I'll get paid out at plus 130. I do think Sean Strickland wins, which is why I parlayed him with Alex Morono. This is what I will call a sketchy favorite parlay. It's almost even money at minus 103. I think Alex Morono can get it done. He's the better fighter. All the things I just mentioned on the previous slide. And then Sean Strickland also should get it done. I mean, he's a top 5 guy. He was one judge away from still being the middleweight world champion. A lot of people think he won that last fight. If Paulo Costa was more of a wrestler and shot more takedowns and pressured forward more than he does, it'd be a little different. But I think Sean Strickland's just going to walk him down, touch him up, walk him down, touch him up, and get it done. The 2 of them together, minus 103. And then I have a similar to bet to the Paulo Costa one. I got Philip Rowe inside the distance, decision, no action. I do think Philip Rowe wins this fight, but I cannot trust his decision-making skills. What I can trust is that he's dangerous and he's durable. And those 2 things together are a perfect combination for this bet. If Philip Rowe stops Jake Matthews, if that power connects and he stops him, he finishes him, well, then I'm going to get paid at minus 110. If Philip Rowe gets taken down 100 times, makes some stupid decisions like he did in his last fight, and loses a decision, I will get a full refund. It is as if this bet never happened. And then, of course, we have the safety parlay. The odds are minus 167. As with all safety parlays, I am very confident in this one. The pay-per-view safety parlays tend to do much, much better than normal ones. If you want to unlock that safety parlay, WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member at the top. You'll also unlock the rest of my bets, the rest of Jacob bets, all the tools, Artem, the artificial intelligence, and everything else. Let's take a look at Jakey Boy's bets. Jakey Boy has about 8 units on the board right now, and there are more coming. Jacob likes to hammer those significant strike bets, the takedown bets, and a few other bets after weigh-in, so expect more from him. If we're looking at what he's got going on, his underdog lock of the week is Mitch Raposo. He got him at plus 175. You can get better odds than that now. For some reason, that line continues to move, which is bizarre to me because I do think Mitch is pretty tough. He's also very confident in Kevin Holland. He has a money line bet on him at 1.5 units, which will return a little bit over 2. And then a whole bunch of other bets for premium members. He's got some low volume, high payout chasers, like a plus 1200 bet, and then some more sensible bets that honestly looked very good and I might tail at minus 103. Everything in between. If you do want to check out the rest of his bets, go to the website, click become a member at the top. You're going to see he's got 8.3 units out. The return right now is 26.25. That's if everyone hits. I'll tell you right now, it's literally impossible for everyone to hit. Some of them are like wins by this in the first round, wins by this in the second round. Both those things can't happen. But the way these usually flush out for Jacob tend to be great nights on pay-per-views. And finally, here's your Bet Openly plug. I opened the beginning of this video. If you didn't watch it, go back. For a free $500 contest. You click the link, you use password WWP, and then you two over or under on a couple of significant strike lines, and you could get $500. Somebody's getting that money. You just need to be better than everybody else. Hey, if you're lucky, you're the only one that enters, except I entered. So you or me, baby. Use the link below to enter it. And then once you're inside the Bet Openly universe, you're going to get better odds across the board. What they are not is a sports book. They're not a sports book. They are peer-to-peer betting. It is human being to human being. So when I put a bet on the board, like my safety parlay, if you think my safety parlay loses, you just bet against it. If you think Mitch Raposo loses, you can bet against it. You can grab the other side of that bet, jump on Andre Lima, and literally take Jacob's money from his pocket and put it into yours. You can check them out at wewantpicks.com/betopenly, but don't do that. Use the link in the description to enter the free contest. It costs you literally nothing, and somebody is going to get $500. Guys, thank you so much for the watch. Become a premium member. You will unlock all the tools, all the bets, all the insight, and more. And if you want $50, I'll send you 50. wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. We send you $50 as a thank you.